And it's Ben Ainslie who take the first victory.
Stop running!
They're flying too high, they're slot, capsize coming!
That was a close finish with the British to take the race.
What I've learned through sport, which has helped me in my life, is understanding that you really just need to keep learning and developing as a person, and knowing that you can be better in every area.
I think they know that Ainslie has got this in the bag.
The big wave, a final surge towards the finish line. He turns the boat down one last time, and Ben Ainslie, for the third time, is Olympic champion. Gold medal for Britain. Gold medal for Ainslie.
Look at what it means. This is a sailing crowd.
Gold in Sydney, gold in Athens, gold in Beijing, and now moments away is Ainslie. There it is. Gold medal in front of a home crowd in London. It's history for Ainslie, 4 golds, and he is now the greatest sailor of all time in the Olympic sailing classes.
You know, I hear people say I'm the best sailor in the world. Total nonsense. I mean, that is just, to my mind, that psyche, I just don't understand. I don't get it. You need to be very honest with yourself and understated in the sense that you know the next race you can just as easily get whacked and get beaten and get taken out. In our own world of sailing, I've been really lucky to experience what it's like to perform at that level where everything is on the line. You feel like you come alive, and everything that you've worked for, it's that moment where you've got to make it count. Doesn't always work out, and those can be tough moments, but when it does, it's a real privilege. Bermuda, the practice days, we were going very well. We were performing well. We were pushing the boat quite hard. But then something happened between the practice and the first day of racing. We really started struggling.
Problems on board the British boat. Ainslie's not going to like what he sees there.
Yeah. Oh, guys, let's settle this down. Settle it down. I don't know what's going on here, guys.
These gusty winds are proving challenging for the crews to control the boats. That's the best sailors in the world. They're on equal boats, but not giving us an equal performance at the moment.
It was the first time that we had sailed with the bigger area of foils in stronger conditions. As a team, it was the first time in SailGP where we'd had problems handling the boat.
Not too high, not too high.
No, I'm trying, mate.
And you don't have any time in SailGP. The races are 10 minutes. It's bang, some maneuvers, mark roundings, finish, that's it, go again.
No.
Just a shambles.
Our maneuvers were just terrible because we would come out of a maneuver and then lose control of the rudder, and the pitch of the boat would go, and we would fall out of the sky and have to re-accelerate, lose a lot of ground.
For Sir Ben Ainslie, as they've got both hulls in the water, barely moving, and they are just giving away positions as Denmark, Spain, and now the USA and France get past them.
Oh, man. Is there a problem with the boat, or we've just been muppets? Muppets. Can't get any worse.
Well, look at that at the back. Sir Ben Ainslie in 7th. Well, there's going to need to be some serious evaluation. It's going to be interesting to see what they can do between races, because there need to be changes.
It'd be interesting to look at the data, because we had moments where normally we'd be absolutely fine, and then it just... Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of the best pieces of advice I've ever had from a coach, David Howlett. You need to be at a level where even on your worst day, on an off day, you are still able to perform at the level that you can win. Okay, it might not be easy, it might be very close, but at least you're in the game, at least you're competitive. And that was absolutely the right approach. It took us a couple of races to really understand the effect of pushing the boat that hard at those speeds was having on the rudder, the wake of the foil coming onto the rudder.
You don't always have to start fast. You need to win the final tomorrow afternoon to win the event here in Bermuda.
But somehow we have to try and use less oil and downwind. We can work on that after that last one. We'll talk about it when we're not mocked up.
The great thing about SailGP is that it's all there on tape. All the data is there. You know, Hannah had helped us, Rob, our coach, had helped us. Then we were able to analyse what was going wrong, look at the data, look at the video, and try and come up with some solutions.
Starting. Great, I will.
Race 4 here in Bermuda, and it's Sir Ben Ainslie with the win. Great result.
From that moment on, we really worked. We really took the approach to try and get to that level of performance whereby things were going well, then you could win a lot of races and really dominate.
This is tight as we come to the finish. Ainslie looks like he's clear in second. He's going to get himself into the final.
But if things weren't going well, you were still in the game. And that was how it played out in Bermuda.
There we go, Sir Ben Ainslie. He drove down over the top of the Australian and he's forced that mistake the Australians are making there. What a moment that was, Sir Ben Ainslie, so aggressive. And now it's the sprint to the finish. Here we are in Bermuda, and from nowhere, Sir Ben Ainslie, 4 times Olympic gold medalist, and they are going to be the winners here in Bermuda of SailGP Bermuda. What a comeback from Ainslie, and how much is that going to hurt Slingsby?
There have been some moments in my career where it's been incredibly tough. And that sport, it's always a bit of a roller coaster ride. I mean, I've been really fortunate to have some good moments, but there have been some pretty moments too.
And it's going to be the British, the Americans, and the Australians in the grand final.
Turning 11.
17.
10.
Right
9.
into the boat. 15.
Yep. 8. 7.
Here we go, turning down for the gun. The line goes clear, the fleet's clear. It's Ainslie, he should lead from here at Mark 1, but how brave are you feeling, Ben?
So a real handful to sail the boats in those conditions. And on those reaching legs, when the wind's strong like that and you've got a big wing on, or the medium wing, you know, probably we should have been on the smaller wing in those conditions.
Keep going. Ease. Angle.
Then there's a danger on that reaching leg that you can't ease the sails quick enough if you get a big gust of wind, and that's what happened to us.
Pressure building from here.
Ease jib a little. Ease jib. Stop grinding.
That's the voice of Ian Jensen, they're flying too high, they're going to slop.
Ultimately, the boat gets blown away, you kind of get reverse flow on the wing, and at that point, you kind of lose control. You're just a passenger.
They've stuffed it. This could be over. Capsize coming.
Capsize for Great Britain in the finale.
Oh my word, didn't let the jib sheet out on board there, unfortunately, from Ben Ainslie and his crew.
We didn't react quickly enough with the trim of the sails, and certainly I could have helped with the angle of the boat to the wind. Your responsibility to your teammates, and actually having Hannah with her as well and doing that made me feel even more responsible, because it was the first time she'd really sailed on the boat with us. Yeah, there have been, you know, one of my best mates, unfortunately, we lost him to an accident. So it's very poignant whenever something like that happens. You know, it takes you back. I think it's really important if you make a mistake that you're honest about it, and it's only by that honesty that you can then try and sort of, you know, rectify the mistakes or try and learn a technique to improve on that.
I actually felt I let the team down a bit this weekend. I didn't sail that well and certainly didn't start the boat that well.
What a rip!
So I'll have to go and give myself a bit of a wake-up call and come back stronger for the next event.
Again, especially in younger sailors, you hear so many times excuses. This didn't work out because I was unlucky, or you know, and nonsense. You've got to work on these issues, and it's by eliminating the weaknesses, or as much as you possibly can. That's really what is going to define the overall success down the line. You have to be honest if you made a mistake. And within the team, it's really important to allow people the space to put their hand up and say, yeah, I made a mistake. It's not like they're suddenly going to get fired off the boat or taken off the team. Because if they put their hand up, then that route to the solution is that much faster. I think probably I've become more tolerant as I've matured. Certainly as a youngster, if somebody got in my way or I felt they'd failed me or cheated or whatever, yeah, I wouldn't let it go. It would, for years and years, I would be waiting for my opportunity for payback.
The big surprise is Ben Ainslie from Great Britain, the youngster. It's going to be between him and Robert Scheidt to decide the gold medal as we enter the final races.
I was 19, I was a young guy coming through. Robert Scheidt was this legend in the sport of sailing already. We were both started over the start line and were disqualified from the race, and that meant Robert took the gold and I took the silver.
Ainslie, he's been tricked over the line early. Scheidt's pulled them over. They're both disqualified, and the gold medal's going to go to Robert Scheidt from Brazil.
I remember at the time being really disappointed because, as crazy as it sounds, at the age of 19, in sailing, you only have one representative per nation in the class that you're sailing. And in a country like the UK, where we have a lot of talent, you don't know whether you necessarily ever get a chance to go to the Olympics again.
Well, that's going to sit hard and long in the memory banks of Ben Ainslie. How can he come back from a blow like that in the final race?
That's quite a deep question. What is forgiveness?
The final race is underway, just 3 boats competing. So halfway through this 6-leg race final.
This is the umpire's penalty GBR relative to Japan, penalty GBR relative to Japan. Not giving room at the mark, not giving room at the mark.
That's a big, big call by the umpire.
That's just such a ridiculous call. Like, we just gave him so much room. Let's go, Wing. That's just a ridiculous call. Your rank, Ben? Yeah, my rank. I don't know what we're going to do here.
It's a big call. I tend to agree. That was a harsh call, really.
Hey, Craig, are they going to take their penalty? Shut up, Nathan. Mate, that's a call. We're going to try and get behind you. Stop moaning.
All this does is let the Australians sail free and clear and go on and win this regatta. That one penalty call has decided this series.
Yeah, we might as well just pull out of the race, Craig. You're just ruining the whole thing, mate.
Ben Ainslie not happy as they cross the finish line in 3rd. The damage is done.
I mean, I don't know how much room we've got to give them there. We gave them so much room and then they were clearly going behind us. Oh, well, good effort, guys. Yeah, well sailed. Yeah.
You always need that aggression that if someone takes you out, we want to beat that team or that person. But you can't let it override you so much that you lose focus on the rest of it. That's really the key, I think.
We should probably let Craig know what we think. I don't think you understand. You don't.
I think as you mature, you get better at sort of understanding how that can actually have a detrimental effect on your psyche, on your focus. And so I'd like to think I'm better now at someone me off, I kind of deal with it and see the bigger picture.
Look, it's difficult with the umpires. They've got a tough job to do, and everyone sort of accepts that. But that's just what we've got to deal with. It's part of the competition, and we'll review it. The umpires are good, to be fair. I'm not going to moan about it anymore. I've said my piece, and time to put it behind us and move on to the next event.
And it takes a long time to learn that. I mean, I'm probably still that's an area where probably I could be better and improve my performance, being better at just letting it go and focusing on the racing. I'm a lot better than I used to be. Probably could be better still.
It's been an incredible race here. Robert Scheidt closing in on the finish line, but it's not enough. It's going to be gold medal for Ainslie. It's redemption for the silver in Atlanta in '96. And 2000 in Sydney, Olympic champion is Ben Ainslie.
We've got the full fleet out there at race number 1, Australia Sail Grand Prix, Sydney.
Brilliant start. Ben Ainslie out of the middle of the line, off the blocks. Room for Ben Ainslie and the British crew here. British crew dive inside. The flight controller doing a great job. Ben Ainslie and his British crew take the lead. That was a close finish with the British to take the race.
The third and final race of day number 1, and everyone now looking for that sweet spot.
19 seconds to go, I think. Outridge and no, the British crew have crashed. They had no rights there, lost control of the boat. There's going to be disaster for the Japanese and the British there. That's unbelievable.
Gosh, you've been kidding me.
You've got to be kidding me, says Nathan Outridge, and I can quite believe that. Miscalculation from Ainslie. Disaster.
Mate, sorry that happened today.
Yeah.
What can you do?
Yeah.
You and I were too busy messing around.
Yeah. Just didn't see it.
It happens, yeah. I mean, look, good news is no one got hurt, you know, so, yeah. Give you right.
Thanks, mate. Hey, mate. I don't know what to say. I'm so sorry.
You didn't say it, did you? No, it's all good, mate.
Yeah.
I know it wasn't intentional.
Yeah.
Have you spoken to Russell?
I haven't spoken to Russell, I spoke to Ian.
I called Russell. He's like, I think they could get that fixed for tomorrow. And I sent him some photos, and he's like, no, maybe not.
Maybe not.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
The great thing about sport is it's totally clear. Your results do the talking. No matter what anyone might say, whatever excuse is, the results do the talking. And that's great, and that's what people love about sport. Life is very different. Your achievements are not necessarily so quantifiable.
Oh, here we go.
Token effort.
There we go. Just like here, you guys. Yeah.
Sorry, mate.
Oh, mate. Oh, that's right.
I don't think you can really judge the success of someone's life on tangible aspects. To me, what I think I've learned through sport, which has helped me in my life, is understanding that nobody's perfect, and you really just need to keep learning and developing as a person. and knowing that you can be better in every area.
This start of asking copying a hole is, what do you reckon's the best way to sort it out there? Is it?
Well, you just, I don't know, tell us what you need.
Maybe a hole?
Well, yeah, you need a hole. Yeah, Nathan and I had a good chat as soon as they got back to the dock. Really, the right thing is to offer up our boat, platform, kit, whatever, to try and help the Japanese get out on the water tomorrow. So that's what we're doing.
It's really sportsmanlike of him to do that. He doesn't have to do that, but he said, look, you know, we've put you out of today's race and we'd love to get you on the water tomorrow.
Beside what people might think about me, I don't actually race because I want to be famous. I race because I love the competition and I want to be a really good sailor. I want to achieve things. Does winning make me a better person? I don't think so, because I almost want to withdraw and make sure that I don't get carried away by that, and it doesn't change anything outside of the sport. My family, you know, my wife, my kids. I don't think it makes any difference to them whether I win a race or not. I guess it stems back to my childhood. Maybe I was 12, 13 years old. I started racing and doing some competitions nationally. And to do that, of course, you need your support of your family to drive you to events and so on, and take up their weekends and precious family time. And I remember I was doing a race. Actually, it was a race at my home club, but it was some wacky conditions. Something went wrong, and I kind of gave up in this race. I remember going home at the end of the day, and I was having dinner, and my dad said to me, well, yeah, how do you get on in the racing today? Do you have a good day? And I made some excuses about, you know, bad conditions, and I was a bit unlucky and all this sort of carry on. Anyway, he had been watching the race, so he said, well, yeah, interesting. I was watching that race and I saw that you gave up. And he wasn't angry with me, but we had a really frank conversation where he said, look, you're at the level now, you could be really good in this sport if you really apply yourself, but you know, to do that, you're going to need the support of your mum and I and your sister and family. You're going to have to commit a lot of time to this, and we're willing to do that, but we're only willing to do that if you're really going to put everything into it. And you know, you can't be giving up in races or anything like that. You've got to really apply yourself. If you don't want to do that, that's fine. It's absolutely fine. There's no pressure from us. In fact, probably we'd prefer it if you didn't, because it meant we could go and do some other things. But that was a turning point for me, and yeah, literally from that day on, every waking moment, I applied myself to trying to be the best sailor I could be from then on. And so it was a good conversation.